This is second part of history second lesson, that is emergence of new kingdoms in North India. Contribution of Palas to culture. The Palas were adherents to the Mahayana school of Buddhism. Adherents means followers. The Palas were the followers of Buddhism. They were generous patrons of Buddhist temples and the famous universities of Nalanda and Vikramashila. They gave many donations to the Buddhist temples and Nalanda and Vikramashila universities. It was through their missionaries that Buddhism was established in Tibet. Through their efforts only, Buddhism established in Tibet. Under Pala patronage, a distinctive school of art arose called Pala art or in Eastern Indian art. Under Pala patronage, one different type of art created, that art called as Eastern Indian art or Pala art. Pala artistic style flourished in present day states of Bihar, West Bengal and Bangladesh. This style of art developed in Bihar, West Bengal and Bangladesh. It was chiefly represented by bronze sculptures and palm leaf paintings. It was fully made of bronze images and palm leaf paintings. Advent of Islam. Islam as a religious faith originated at Mecca in Arabia. Islam first started in Mecca in Arabia. The founder of Islam was Prophet Muhammad. Who was the founder of Islam? Prophet Muhammad. The followers of Islam are called Muslims. The follower of Islam are called Muslims. We called as Muslims. An Islamic state, especially the one ruled by a single religious and political leader, was known as Caliphate. There is one religious leader. His name was Caliphate. Two early caliphates were at the time, they were Umayyads and Abbasids. Who were the two caliphates? Umayyads and Abbasids. Both the Umayyads and Abbasids expanded their rule, separated by their conquest and preaching the principles of Islam. They too were separately expanded their rule and preached their principles of Islam. In the 8th century of India, the Arab presence appeared in the form of Muslim army that conquered the Sindh. This Muslim army conquered in the place of Sindh, but their further expansion was made impossible by the kings of Gangetic Plains and the Deccan. After this expansion of Sindh, later expansion was in failure because of the kings Gangetic Plain and Deccan invasion. By the end of the 9th century, with the decline of the Abbasid Caliphate, the Arab garrisons in India and elsewhere threw off Caliph's control and began to rule independently. Garrisons is nothing but soldiers stayed in one place for a safety. That safety place was called as garrisons. Arab conquest of Sindh and its impact. In 712 AD, Muhammad bin Qasim, who was the commander of the Umayyad kingdom, invaded Sindh. Muhammad bin Qasim invaded Sindh in the year of 712. Qasim defeated Sindh king Tahir and captured Aror. Aror means one place name. He organized the administration of Sindh. The people of Sindh were given the status of protected subjects. These people were given one status, one name. That name was protected subjects. There was no interference in the lives and religions of the people. They didn't interfere the life and religion of the people. But soon Qasim was recalled by the Caliph. Very soon Qasim came instead of Caliph. The Arab scholars visited Sindh and studied many Indian literary works. These Arab scholars visited Sindh and India and they studied many Indian literary and Sanskrit works. They translated many Sanskrit books on astronomy, philosophy, mathematics and medicine. They translated many Indian books, that is Sanskrit books on astronomy books, philosophy books, mathematics book and medicine books. They translated these books in their own language. They learnt the numerals 0 to 9 from India. They learnt numbers from India. Until then, the people in the West didn't know the use of zero. After the invasion of Sindh only, they knew about the value of zero. Through the Arabs, Europe gained more knowledge in mathematics. Through the Arabs, Europe also knew about the mathematics and value of zero. Muhammad of Ghazni. Muhammad is said to have conducted 17 raids into India. At that time, North India was divided into number of small kingdoms. There were many small kingdoms in India at that time. One of them was Shahi kingdom, which extended from Punjab to Kabul. One of the kingdom was Shahi. That kingdom was extended from Punjab to Kabul. The other important kingdoms were Kannauj, Gujarat, Kashmir, Nepal, Malwa and Bundelkhand. The initial raids were against the Shahi kingdom, in which its king Jayapala was defeated in 1001. Very important raid, very initial raid happened in which year? After the death of King Jayapala. He defeated and killed in the year of 1001. After his defeat, Jayapala immolated himself because he thought that this defeat was a disgrace. Immolated means killed. That means suicide. Okay. His successor Anandapala fought against Muhammad but was defeated in the battle of Vaihind near Bishwar in 1008. Who was the successor of Jayapala? Anandapala. Okay, after Jayapala, Anandapala came. Anandapala fought against Muhammad, but Anandapala also defeated. He was defeated in the battle of Vaihind. That place was near Bishwar. He was defeated in the year of 1008. As a result of the victory at Vaihind, Muhammad extends his rule over Punjab. After this victory, Muhammad extended his kingdom. The subsequent raids of Muhammad into India were aimed at plundering the rich temples and cities of North India. This Muhammad of his only aim was took all the money and wealth from rich cities and rich temples. In 1011, he raided Nagarkot in Punjab and Daneshwar near Delhi. He was moving and moving. He came forward to India. In 1018, Muhammad plundered the holy city of Mathura. He captured the holy city of Mathura. He also attacked Kannauj. Muhammad died in the year of 1030. Muhammad of Ghori. Muhammad of Ghor or Muhammad Ghori started a vassal of Ghazni but became independent after the death of Muhammad. After Muhammad Ghazni, this Muhammad of Ghor came, taking advantages of the decline of the Ghaznavid Empire. Muhammad Ghori brought Ghazni under his control. He took over Ghazni under his control. Having made his position strong and secure at Ghazni, Muhammad turned his attention to India. After that, he turned his full attention to India. Unlike Muhammad of Ghazni, he wanted to extend his empire by conquering India. So, he wanted only India's places by conquering. In 1175, Muhammad captured Multan and occupied whole of it. 1175, he captured Multan, full Multan. In 1186, he attacked Punjab and captured it. The Battle of Tarain. Realizing the grave situation in which they were caught, the Hindu princes of North India formed a confederacy under the command of Prithviraj Chauhan. Realizing this very bad situation, Indians formed a confederacy under the command of Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj rose to the occasion and defeated Muhammad in the Battle of Tarain near Delhi in 1191. In the year of 1191, Prithviraj defeated Muhammad Ghor. This was called the First Battle of Tarain. This battle was called as First Battle of Tarain. To avenge this defeat, Muhammad made serious preparations and gathered a huge army. After this defeat, Muhammad came with a huge army. He arrived with his large force in Lahore via Peshawar and Multan. He came with his large force into India. Prithviraj was defeated and Muhammad Ghori won. After that, Prithviraj was defeated, Muhammad Ghori won. He captured important cities of Delhi and Ajmer. The second battle of Tarain was a major disaster for the Rajputs. After that, second battle of Tarain came. This was a very major disaster for the Rajputs. The first Muslim kingdom was thus firmly established in India at the Ajmer. The first Muslim kingdom established in India in the place of Ajmer. After the death of Muhammad in 1206, his most capable general Qutbuddin Aibak, who had been left behind in India, took control of Muhammad's territories in India and declared himself as the first Sultan of Delhi. After this, Muhammad Ghori, who came, Qutbuddin Aibak came, he declared himself as the first Sultan of Delhi. Thank you.